Imagine lying in bed, the house finally quiet, yet your mind feels cloudy and your eyes ache from the strain of the day. You try to recall a name or even what you had for dinner, and for a brief moment, you wonder, is this just age catching up with me? But what if I told you the nighttime hours, instead of being when your brain feels the foggiest and your vision the weakest, could become the very time when your body begins to heal itself? I'm Dr. Brian, and welcome to Ageless Garden, where we explore natural, science-backed ways to help you live longer, stronger, and with greater clarity. Tonight, we'll uncover the quiet power of 4 simple teas, drinks that don't just soothe, but can actually protect your memory and your eyesight while you sleep. And the most surprising one is likely sitting in your spice drawer. The truth is, you don't need complicated prescriptions or drastic lifestyle overhauls to support your brain and eyes as you age. Often, it's the smallest rituals that carry the greatest healing power. A warm cup of tea, taken in the quiet of the evening, can become more than comfort. It can be medicine in disguise. Research shows that certain teas contain compounds that calm inflammation, feed the delicate tissues of the eyes, and even help the brain clear out toxins overnight. Tonight, we'll explore 4 of the most powerful: green tea, chamomile, saffron, and ginger. When most people think of green tea, they picture something light, maybe even ordinary, a simple drink you might order at a restaurant or see on a grocery store shelf. But let me tell you something. Inside that cup is one of the most studied, most powerful natural compounds ever discovered for the human brain and eyes. Green tea carries within it a molecule called EGCG, Epigallocatechin gallate, if you want the full name. Now, don't worry about the long word. Think of EGCG as a kind of guardian that can cross into places most nutrients never reach. The brain is wrapped in a protective shield called the blood-brain barrier. That barrier keeps out toxins, but also blocks many helpful compounds. EGCG is one of the rare ones that slips through. And once it's there, it begins quieting inflammation, repairing fragile nerve cells, and strengthening the connections that allow you to hold on to memories. Here's the remarkable part. EGCG doesn't just stop at the brain. In 2010, researchers published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry that the very same antioxidant was absorbed directly into the tissues of the eye, the retina, cornea, and lens, within just half an hour of drinking green tea. Think about that. A cup of tea, something so simple, can deliver protection right to the structures most vulnerable to aging: cataracts, macular degeneration, retinal strain. These aren't just words in a medical chart. They're the reasons you might notice that the page looks fuzzy at night or that headlights blur when you're driving. Green tea helps slow that wear and tear. I think often about one of my patients, Martha. She's 68, a retired teacher with a warm laugh, but she came to me worried that her memory was slipping. She'd put down her glasses, then forget where she left them. At night, she struggled to read more than a few pages before her eyes began to sting and blur. We talked about sleep, stress, and diet, but I also suggested something very simple: a cup of green tea in the evening. Not a rushed sip, but a ritual. 45 minutes before bed, steeped just right, enjoyed in quiet. A month later, she returned, smiling. "Dr. Brian," she told me, "my thoughts feel lighter at night, and I don't squint at the page the way I used to." Was it just the tea? Perhaps not entirely, but science tells us that inside that gentle cup are compounds working silently to support her. There's another hidden gem in green tea called L-theanine. This one doesn't give you more energy. Instead, it guides your brain into producing alpha waves, the kind associated with calm focus. Picture the difference between a stormy sea and a steady tide. That's what L-theanine does inside your mind. It doesn't knock you out like a sleeping pill. Instead, it prepares your brain for the deep, restorative sleep where your memories are sorted, your neurons repair themselves, and your eyes finally rest. So how do you get the most out of this? First, choose a high-quality green tea, ideally loose leaf, free from artificial flavors. If you're sensitive to caffeine, don't worry. Even the decaffeinated versions retain much of their power. Steep it gently, not in boiling water, but at about 160 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 to 3 minutes. Drink it slowly, letting your body absorb it about half an hour to an hour before bed. Green tea is more than a drink. It's a nightly investment in clarity, in memory, in the gift of sharper vision. For those of you searching for natural ways to improve eyesight, for foods to boost eye health, or even a simple diet to improve eyesight as you age, green tea deserves a permanent place in your evening routine. It is one of the most elegant examples of how nature, through something as unassuming as a leaf, can become both comfort and medicine. If green tea is about clarity and focus, chamomile is about surrender, about allowing the body to do what it so often forgets to do as we age. Rest deeply. Now, many of my patients over 60 tell me the same thing. Dr. Brian, I fall asleep, but I don't stay asleep. Or, I wake up more tired than when I went to bed. This isn't just frustrating. It steals the very hours when the brain and eyes are supposed to repair themselves. You see, it's in the deepest stages of sleep that the brain cleans house, flushing away waste proteins that build up during the day. Without that deep rest, toxins linger, memory weakens, and vision fatigue worsens. Chamomile, a flower that has been brewed for centuries, has a way of nudging the body back into that natural rhythm. Inside chamomile is a compound called apigenin. Now, rather than think of apigenin as a chemical, imagine it as a gentle hand turning down the volume on a noisy radio. It binds to the same receptors in the brain that regulate sleep and calm, helping the nervous system lower its guard. Not sedation, not the artificial heaviness of a pill, just a signal that it's time to release, to let go. What happens when you sleep deeper? The brain's cleaning crew, known as the glymphatic system, finally gets to work. Picture tiny rivers washing through the brain, sweeping away proteins like beta amyloid that, when left to accumulate, are linked to Alzheimer's disease. This nightly rinse is one of the most overlooked forms of natural medicine we have. Chamomile, with its simple floral essence, quietly opens the door for it to happen. And what about the eyes? While chamomile doesn't target the retina the way green tea does, it plays another role. By reducing inflammation, relaxing blood vessels, and lowering stress hormones, chamomile creates the internal environment your eyes need to recover overnight. That gritty burning feeling you may notice when you wake, often it's because your eyes never fully rested. Chamomile helps ease that, letting tired tissues soften and hydrate while you sleep. I'm reminded of Frank, one of my longtime patients. He's 72, a former mechanic who always had oil-stained hands and a quick joke ready. But in recent years, his laughter was weighed down by fatigue. "Doc," he said, "I can't sleep more than 2 hours straight. My eyes feel like sandpaper in the morning." We worked together on a few lifestyle changes, but one of the simplest shifts was this. After brushing his teeth each night, he brewed a single cup of chamomile tea. No phone, no television, just quiet. 3 weeks later, his words surprised even me. "I'm sleeping like I used to years ago. My eyes don't burn when I wake." That's the quiet magic of chamomile. It doesn't just lull you, it restores you. If you're thinking of trying it, here's how to make it work for you. Choose pure chamomile flowers or organic tea bags without added flavorings. Steep them in hot water around 200 degrees Fahrenheit for 5 to 10 minutes. The longer it steeps, the stronger the calming compounds become. Drink it about 30 minutes before bed, ideally in a peaceful space. If you want an extra layer of calm, inhale the steam as it rises. The warm vapor can ease tension and open your sinuses. Chamomile may not repair a retina or sharpen your vision directly, but by gifting you deeper sleep, it sets the stage for natural healing. And if you're searching for foods to improve eyesight or a diet to improve eyesight naturally, don't overlook sleep itself. Without it, no nutrient or antioxidant can do its full work. Chamomile is one of the gentlest, safest ways to reclaim that rest so your brain can remember and your eyes can finally recover. There's something almost mysterious about saffron. Unlike chamomile or green tea, which feel familiar and humble, saffron carries an ancient weight. Just a few crimson threads from this flower have been prized for thousands of years, worth more than gold in some cultures, not just for flavor or color, but for healing. And modern science is now confirming what tradition has long whispered. Saffron is one of the most remarkable natural protectors of both the brain and the eyes. The key lies in two compounds, crocin and safranol. Think of them as twin guardians. Crocin protects the eyes at the deepest level, the photoreceptor cells in your retina, the very cells that allow you to see detail, color, and light. Safranol, on the other hand, shields the brain from the slow wear of oxidative stress, especially in the hippocampus, the part of the brain that stores memory and helps us learn. Together, they don't just slow decline, they encourage resilience. This isn't just poetic language. In a study published in the Journal of Ophthalmology, patients with early age-related macular degeneration who took saffron daily experienced measurable improvements in vision, including sharper contrast and better reading ability. It's one of the rare natural remedies where we can actually see objective changes, not just subjective feelings. Imagine that. Threads from a flower protecting your eyes from one of the leading causes of vision loss in seniors. But saffron does more than preserve sight. It gently lifts mood. By enhancing levels of serotonin and dopamine, those feel-good messengers, it counters the quiet sadness or fog that can creep in with age. Some studies even show saffron rivaling prescription antidepressants for mild to moderate depression, but without the heavy side effects. So when I think of saffron tea, I don't just think of sharper vision. I think of brighter mornings, steadier moods, and clearer memory. I think about Linda, one of my patients. She's 66, a retired librarian who always loved reading late into the night. But when she came to me, she admitted with tears in her eyes that she could no longer trust her vision. The words blurred, the focus slipped, and she began avoiding the books that had once been her joy. She also confessed to feeling low in energy, her thoughts scattered. After careful discussion, we introduced saffron tea into her nightly routine. 4 to 6 threads steeped in hot water until the water turned a rich golden orange. 2 months later, she told me something I'll never forget. I feel like I have my eyes back and my mind feels lighter. She wasn't cured of aging, but she had reclaimed something precious, her independence in the small daily joys of life. Now, if you're wondering how to prepare saffron tea, simplicity is key. Use only pure saffron threads, not powders which are often diluted. Place 4 to 6 threads in a cup, pour in freshly boiled water, and let it steep for 10 to 15 minutes until the water glows with that unmistakable orange hue. Avoid sugar or dairy, which can blunt its effects. A drizzle of honey or a squeeze of lemon is fine. And here's a secret many don't know. Saffron combines beautifully with chamomile. Together, they deliver both calm and clarity, a powerful blend for anyone looking to improve eyesight naturally while soothing the nervous system. For seniors seeking foods to boost eye health or a diet to improve eyesight, saffron may seem like an indulgence. But sometimes, the most powerful medicines come in the smallest, rarest packages. Even a pinch taken regularly can begin weaving its quiet protection. And as with all the teas we've explored, the ritual itself matters too. The slowing down, the act of caring for yourself each evening, sending the body the message, you are worth protecting. Saffron isn't just a spice, it's a thread of hope for aging eyes and a gentle uplift for the aging mind. When most people think of ginger, they think of stomach relief, settling nausea, easing digestion. But what many don't realize is that ginger, especially in the form of a warm evening tea, also has profound effects on the brain and the eyes. Its secret lies in a compound called gingerol, which acts like a powerful anti-inflammatory and circulation booster. And for seniors over 60, where inflammation and sluggish blood flow often lie at the root of foggy thinking and tired eyes, ginger can be a quiet but potent ally. Let's start with the eyes. Every cell in your retina depends on a steady delivery of oxygen and nutrients. But as we age, circulation can slow, tiny vessels can stiffen, and pressure can build inside the eye. This is one of the reasons conditions like glaucoma and age-related eye strain become more common later in life. Gingerol helps by gently dilating blood vessels, reducing oxidative stress, and improving blood flow so that more oxygen and nutrition actually reach the eyes. Many of my patients report less burning, less dryness, and even a brighter clarity after just a few weeks of making ginger tea part of their nightly ritual. And the brain? That same boost in circulation means sharper thinking. Inflammation is one of the hidden villains behind memory loss and mental fatigue. It's as if tiny fires are burning quietly in the brain, disrupting connections, slowing down signals. Gingerol works like a cooling balm, reducing those inflammatory sparks and allowing neurons to communicate more freely. Research has even shown ginger to improve working memory and reaction time, especially in older adults. Think of it as clearing the static from a radio. Suddenly, the music comes through again, cleaner and sharper. One of my patients, George, offers a perfect example. At 70, he had always been a lively storyteller, but recently he found himself pausing mid-sentence, struggling to recall names, losing the thread of conversations. On top of that, his eyes ached after reading for more than a few minutes. He felt embarrassed, even avoided social gatherings because he didn't trust his memory. After we introduced ginger tea into his routine, fresh slices simmered in water each evening, he returned a month later with a grin. "Doc," he said, "I don't know if it's the ginger, but I feel like the lights in my head are brighter. My eyes don't get tired so fast either." Of course, ginger wasn't a cure-all, but for George, it was a turning point. If you're curious to try ginger tea yourself, here's how to prepare it. Start with a fresh ginger root, about 1 to 2 inches long. Slice it thin, add it to boiling water, and let it simmer for 10 to 15 minutes. The longer it simmers, the stronger the flavor and the greater the release of gingerol. If fresh ginger isn't available, high-quality tea bags made with pure ginger are fine, but avoid blends that dilute it with artificial flavors or fillers. Many people enjoy adding a slice of lemon, a pinch of turmeric, or a spoonful of honey. Just remember one thing, ginger can be mildly energizing, so it's best to drink it at least an hour before bed, giving your body time to settle into calm. Now, some may wonder, does ginger really qualify as an eyesight improvement food? The answer is yes, though in an indirect but powerful way. It doesn't repair vision overnight, but by reducing inflammation, lowering eye pressure, and improving circulation, it creates the foundation for healing. In fact, when combined with a diet to improve eyesight, rich in leafy greens, colorful fruits, and omega-3 fats, ginger becomes part of a larger orchestra of protection for your vision. Think of it this way. Your eyes are living tissue, nourished by blood, cleansed by circulation, supported by calm. Ginger tea touches each of these points, and when sipped slowly in the evening, it doesn't just warm your body, it tells your brain and eyes you are cared for, you are supported, you are safe to rest. By now you've heard about the unique gifts of green tea, chamomile, saffron, and ginger. Each one has its own strengths, calming the mind, protecting memory, nourishing the eyes, or improving circulation. But the real power doesn't come from just knowing about them. It comes from making them a living part of your nightly rhythm, a ritual, not just a drink. And for seniors, this ritual can be a steady anchor, something simple and healing to look forward to at the close of each day. The first step is choosing the tea that matches your biggest need. If sleep is your struggle, falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking unrested, chamomile will likely serve you best. If your concern is mental clarity, green tea, especially a decaf version in the evening, will gently clear the fog. If eye health is your top priority, saffron becomes the hero, protecting vision and brightening focus. And if circulation, energy, or pressure behind the eyes troubles you, ginger is the answer. Think of it like choosing the right tool from a toolbox. Each tea is valuable, but the right one at the right time can make all the difference. The second step is consistency. The body thrives on rhythm. Just as children sleep better when bedtime is predictable, so do we as adults. Drinking your chosen tea at the same time each night, ideally 45 to 60 minutes before bed, signals to your brain and body, it's time to wind down. Over days and weeks, this repeated signal strengthens so that even the smell and warmth of the tea begin to trigger relaxation and readiness for sleep. The third step is creating the right environment. A cup of tea can only do so much if it's competing with bright lights, TV noise, or the stress of late-night scrolling on a phone. Instead, treat your tea as part of a transition. Dim the lights, turn off screens, maybe play soft music, or simply enjoy the quiet. Let your tea be more than a drink. Let it be an invitation to peace. This small act of protecting your evening space has a surprising effect. Stress hormones lower, blood pressure steadies, and your eyes, no longer strained by artificial light, begin to rest. The fourth step is patience. Natural remedies are gentle by design. Unlike medications that force quick but sometimes jarring effects, teas work slowly, weaving health thread by thread. Many of my patients notice small shifts within a week or two, falling asleep faster, less eye strain, clearer mornings. But the deeper benefits, like sharper memory or improved resilience of the eyes, often reveal themselves after a month or more. I always remind them, this isn't just a treatment, it's a practice. And every evening you commit to it, you're building a foundation for the months and years ahead. The fifth and final step is to make it easy. Keep your teas visible and accessible. If you have to dig through a cluttered cupboard every night, the ritual will become a chore instead of a comfort. Place your teas where you can see them. Consider setting out your mug and kettle in the evening as a gentle reminder. Some seniors even rotate. Green tea one night, chamomile the next, depending on how they feel. There's no rigid rule here. What matters most is that you keep the practice alive, night after night. This is where the real beauty lies. It's not just about antioxidants or brain receptors or circulation. It's about giving yourself a moment each evening that says, I am worth caring for. My eyes, my mind, my sleep, they deserve protection. Aging doesn't erase this truth. If anything, it makes it more important. And what could be simpler than a warm cup of tea, sipped slowly in the quiet, carrying both ancient wisdom and modern science in every sip? Aging doesn't have to mean decline. It doesn't have to mean surrendering your sharpness, your vision, or your restful nights. Every evening, with something as simple as a cup of tea, you can take back a piece of your health, calming the mind, nourishing the eyes, protecting the brain. Remember, it's the small, steady choices that carry us forward, not grand gestures. You deserve clarity, comfort, and peace as you close your eyes each night. If this message touched you, please like, share, and subscribe. Together, we can make these years not just longer, but stronger.